Welcome to one of the past HSC exam question videos. What I'll do in a second is I read the question, but before I do, I'll quickly go over the procedure. So once I read the question, about 5 seconds to pause the video. Once you pause the video, attempt the question, and then when you're ready, press play and I'll go over the actual answer itself. I'll show a marking guideline in terms of how to get full marks, and I'll go over a sample answer as well. So when you're ready, pause the video, and then attempt the question. Welcome back. So the question says, construct a table to identify 3 types of T lymphocytes and outline the role of each type in the immune response, and that's worth 3 marks. So you actually, the marking guideline says to get full marks, so 3 marks, you should draw a table, identify correctly 3 T lymphocytes, and sketch your role in terms of each identified T lymphocyte. So if you only do one of them, or you forget to do one of them, you more or less get 2 marks, and if you only do one of them in general, you only get 1 mark. So in this case, we can choose different types. We've got the T helper cells you can choose. These are the ones that will activate the B and T lymphocytes and also will activate the phagocytes, right? We've got the T suppressor cells. These are the ones that will deactivate the immune response, the specific immune response, once the fight is over. The T memory cell are the T cells which will remember any antigens, and once they come back, they will activate the secondary immune response. And we've got the 2 killer cells. We've got a cytotoxic T cell and the T killer cell. These are quite similar, but quite different as well. The cytotoxic T cell will kill cells, infected cells, especially your cancer cells, your your organ transplanted cells, and your infected cells. And T killer cells do something similar, but they're just activated a bit different. These have quite similar roles. There's a bit of difference, but you just had to choose 3 of them, and then explain them as well, or what kind of role they have in the immune response. But you actually get a mark for drawing a table, right? So this is your first mark, and that's a pretty easy mark. And then you get marks for outlining the function. So we'll go for these ones are ones I chose: cytotoxic T cell, memory T cell, and the T helper cell. So cytotoxic T cell, its function was to destroy cells that carry foreign antigens. This can include infected cells and transplanted cells. So this would be the cell-mediated response. They are responsible for the cell-mediated immune response. Then you could have, I chose the memory cells. Or first I'm going to talk about obviously the T helper cells. The T helper cells release interleukins, which are these chemicals, right? So they release interleukins which presented with, I'll read that again. Release interleukins when presented with foreign antigens. So if some B cell or the phagocytes brings them with foreign antigens, they will release these interleukins, and these interleukins will then activate your cytotoxic T cells and B cells and phagocytes. So they're the ones who activate. And the last one are memory cells. The memory cells recognize an antigen when it reappears, and by doing so, they will activate the secondary immune response. And why is it important? Because the secondary immune response that results in the production of antibodies that combat specific antigen and pathogen, right? So basically, you could have said that these memory T cells make sure the body doesn't get infected again by that same type of disease. So that would have been just the roles. Again, you could have chosen the other ones as well, but you just had to make a table, put down the correct type table with a heading and the actual names, and then quickly go through just a quick outline of what they each do. This question came from this dot point, so it's describe and explain the immune response in the human body in terms of the range of T lymphocytes and the difference in their role. So here we have these different types of T lymphocytes and what kind of role they have. Hopefully that was useful.